Two-Face here, back with another reaction video. This time reacting to Top 10 Dark Things the Vikings Did by Most Amazing Top 10. Now it's been a while, actually quite a long time since I reacted to any of their videos, so so this should be an interesting video. Usually they do pretty good top 10s, and let's see if I know any of these facts, because the obvious disclaimer that I give out if I react to anything historical, if I don't give so much of a reaction or proper reaction, is obviously because I don't know anything about the subject. So every now and again I might give some input or ask some curious questions that hopefully someone in the comments can answer for me. So anyway, the link to the original video will be in the description down below. Please go subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 and give them loads of support. And let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this.
Vikings, you might think of red-haired individuals with big horns on their helmets. In reality,
no, because I actually learned some history. I'm thinking of brave Scandinavian warriors when it comes to Vikings. I'm not that illiterate when it comes to history.
Vikings were some pretty violent people that engaged in some dark practices. From human sacrifices to the burning of bodies. Let's talk about these and more only in today's video. Top 10 dark things the Vikings did. Starting off this countdown, we have Berserker. Between the 8th to mid-11th century, the Vikings were known to be very, very aggressive. In fact, when they were at battle, they would go into this trance-like state that was called Berserker. Once in this state, they would violently kill anyone who got in their way. Well, theory goes that this state was actually caused by eating magic mushrooms. Apparently, mushrooms that grew in their area would cause hallucinations and would also increase their adrenaline levels. Hence why they act so violently and out of control. Like nowadays, people do shrooms and just chill out and watch Dora the Explorer. Imagine doing a whole battle while tripping out. In our 9th spot, we have the burning bodies. But before I go any further, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up because it really
already have.
In Norse religion, after death, it was said that warriors went into these great realms. But in order to get there, they needed a vessel. So when someone died back then, Vikings would place their body on a boat and push them off to sea.
Typical Viking funeral.
These boats were often surrounded by weapons and goods, even sometimes human sacrifices, all to help them get to their end destination. Not only that, but the more wealthy Vikings would actually burn the boat with the deceased on them and then push them out to sea. That's a pretty creepy image if you ask me, just watching a flaming dead body or bodies. In our 8th spot, we have the imbalance. Turns out the Vikings were killing off so many women that they started having an uneven gender ratio. This was because men were considered stronger than women. Also because the Norse value sons more than daughters. Over the years, archaeologists found tons of young female skeletons. So it was believed that...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they had female warriors among them as well, known as shield maidens. I know the Vikings done bad things, but somehow something about this fact kind of... I can't put my finger on it. It kind of something is a little bit untrue about this. I'm not sure. Whoops.
They would get rid of them when they were young. Coming in at number 7, we have the teeth. Back in the day, Vikings would painfully file and dye their teeth. Archaeologists recently unearthed evidence of this. Basically, they would file their teeth down. Some would file horizontal parallel lines in their front 2 teeth, and some even dyed them, often red. Yeah, not white, red. And then the dye would seep into the carvings and stand out. Doesn't this kind of remind you of something? Yeah, everything is coming full circle. Remember that whole trend on TikTok of people filing down their own teeth by themselves? Wow. Now, the purpose of this filing remains unclear, but some think it may have to do with their status as a great fighter. Other people believe that it was done to scare off their enemies.
I'll say it to scare enemies.
Bloody soup. This was a practice that women would use when caring for an injured Viking. It was used to gauge how bad their flesh wounds were. So basically, they would make a broth out of onions, leeks, and herbs. Then they would feed this to the injured Viking. After he finished eating it, they would then smell the wound. Yes, smell the wound. If they could smell the soup, then they knew the wound was way too deep and there was no sense helping the warrior. They would just die soon anyways. But if there was no smell, then good on them. The dude was good and they would actually treat them. Isn't that insane? Imagine if hospitals made us do that, like down a crap ton of onions and then sniff us. We're now at our fifth and halfway mark with the blood tasting. This is another really weird practice that the Vikings would do. So basically, women would use the blood of a wound to figure out more about the injury. They would do this by tasting the blood. I mean, there's not much information.
I'm pretty sure Vikings weren't the only ones. I know there was, I can't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure there were other races and cultures that have done this during these sort of times.
On this practice, but still, it's quite gross, but also kind of fascinating. Like, how could they tell the difference between a fatal wound and a non-fatal wound just by tasting someone's blood? Totally blows my mind. Again, thankfully, this isn't a practice doctors and nurses use today. Moving on to number 4, we have an eye for an eye. The Vikings had a pretty messed up justice system. Thank gosh, it's not like this still. But basically, killing someone wasn't always illegal.
You sure about that?
For example, they believed in an eye for an eye. So if someone, let's say, killed your wife, you could then kill the murderer. But then it would get complicated because then the murderer's family could kill you and then it would just be this like perpetual killing cycle. They also had a thing called home gangs, which was a way of settling disputes. Basically, these were fights to the death. If one person did you wrong, you could ask them to a duel. If the person who was challenged doesn't show up, then they were deemed guilty, and anyone was allowed to kill that person. Again, I'm glad this isn't a thing anymore. In our third spot, we have the games. Obviously, they weren't playing jump rope or hopscotch for fun. No, they had some pretty dark games, like a swimming competition, except you're not swimming. In fact, you would hold your opponent underwater for as long as you could. If the man didn't resurface, then you won, and the dude died. So basically, they were playing murder. Moving on to number 2, we have the human sacrifices. For a number of years, scientists believed Vikings did not partake in human sacrifice. That was until 1990, when an archaeologist made a quite interesting discovery. While using a metal detector, the archaeologist found jewelry and weapons along the edge of a lake. He kept digging and eventually came across evidence of human sacrifice that dated back to the Viking Age. Then in the 1930s, a series of ancient wells were excavated. That's when they found bone remnants of 5 people. Again, suggesting this. According to Vikings, sacrifices helped reestablish their connection to the gods, and they would only do this when things were going bad for them. And in our number 1 spot, we have the blood eagle. Now this one is fairly graphic. Blood eagle is a method of ritual execution. Basically, the victim would be restrained, their face down. Then the shape of an eagle with its wings out would be carved into their back. And then their ribs would be cut off, one by one. Finally, they would take the skin and pull it apart to make it look like a pair of wings. Ever seen the show Hannibal? It reminds me of that one episode from season 1. If you know, you know. But it gets worse. You would still be alive while all of this happened. And then a saline solution would be poured all over your body. Okay, I can barely take hand sanitizer in a paper cut. So that would be brutal. The last step
I heard
was
it was
taking
salt.
the victim's lungs and spreading them over the wings. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know which one of these facts spooked you the most. Honestly, that eagle thing, creepy. And now let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video, top 10 scary things that happened in circuses. Liliana Beach commented, please shout out me for being second. I have tried so hard to get a shout out, but never have. Well, thank you.
Okay, go and see the original video if you want to see their comment shout out. So anyway, this has been another good video from Most Amazing Top 10. Some of those facts are I think are a little bit debatable. I don't know if I don't know why, but wow, it's a recent video as well, 22nd of March. Yeah, 3 days ago. So I don't know. Some of those facts, as good as they are, some of them were a little bit debatable. So, but I'm not entirely sure. So anyway, this has been a good video from Top 10, from Most Amazing Top 10. If you like this reaction, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.